Other interesting cultural news, you have Vivek Ramaswamy on how to fix crime. Now, this is something he tweeted actually just yesterday, and actually no, this morning. I digress. It already got within, how many hours is that? 4 hours. It got 126,000 views. It's pretty darn good, and 2,344 likes. So needless to say, doing quite good. And he is on Fox News. It's about a minute long, but it is going more and more popular. So I'm going to play that really quick.
Vivek, a lot of this is due to lenient policies put in place by local Democratic leaders. We know that. What could be done at the national level?
So look, I think we can stop subsidizing these bad behaviors at the local level, Brian. I don't think localities should get money blocking.
Of course, the example that they used in the picture, they got picture in picture on Fox News. They got the split screen with the two talking heads, which, again, how cliche is that, Fox News? But the picture that they have showing crime is, of course, San Francisco, where you get what you vote for. California actually voted to basically decriminalize all theft up to $950. That used to be a felony, which, again, when you're going to court, there's certain consequences for certain classifications of the crime. Instead of that being a felony, they made it a misdemeanor, so it's even lower. And when you go to court and you're dealing against the government, they usually plea it down. They'll come at you with a lower offer. So, and I guess you also have all those district attorneys that don't actually prosecute crime. So it's basically a lawless hellscape of San Francisco, with every retailer leaving that you could possibly fathom, and headquarters also leaving the state in droves.
Grants from the federal government unless they're allowing cops to do their jobs. We know how to address crime in this country. More cops on the street, literally on the street, without being able to look over their shoulder, fear of being sued. That's thing number one. And
so I'll have to disagree with Vivek in regards to they have qualified immunity, so they can't be personally sued. That's a big point of contention when people debate about police accountability and the legalities of them not having consequences, and the pejorative joke where if a police makes a mistake, they just get a paid vacation, which I would say isn't just police. That's pretty much every public sector job, especially all those union members are quite protected.
Thing number two is bring back mental health institutions. We have a mental health epidemic across this country. Over the same period that we saw the closure of mental health institutions, we've seen a spike in violent crime in this country. That doesn't mean drugging up a bunch of people with Zoloft and Seroquel. It actually means restoring purpose, faith-based approaches and otherwise. Right. But those are politically incorrect discussions right now. Cops doing their jobs in mental health institutions, I say bring both of those things back. That's how we address violent crime.
I agree. Now, the issues come in who's defining mental illness. I mean, you had the FBI say, if you're a concerned parent going to a school board, you're a terrorist. That's not a joke. It actually happened in America, as crazy as that once might seem. Now, in terms of statistics on the videos, it got 110,000 views in the first 3 hours of being posted, 2,075 likes, giving a 1.89% like ratio. Not too bad. Now, the top two responses were, quote, make two-parent homes great again. I got 1,533 views and 27 likes, which, pretty good statement. That's 1.76% like ratio. And then somebody named of Rumpelstiltskin Gold, which, again, I'll never be able to spell. It's one of those funny names, says, quote, you're the wrecking ball we need, unquote. I got 1,543 views and 39 likes, giving it a 2.53% like ratio. Now, when it comes to actually beating crime or, getting tough on crime, it's going to have to be a multifaceted approach. You also have to think about the community and the cultural changes you need in a community to actually make changes. So it's going to be, there are a lot of levers you're going to have to pull in order to actually turn the trend around with these cities. But in terms of a presidential, I don't know how much a president can do in terms of turning cities around. I mean, you look at Chicago, throughout the years, we've had Republican presidents and we've had Democrat presidents. And I don't know how much you can do on the federal level. It's never been able to fix Chicago. They've been democratically governed with their mayor for 93 years now. And the crime's never gotten better. It's only gotten worse. So I would say it's a cultural issue as well as a political issue. Of course, they don't actually enforce the law over there or know the Constitution. But let me know in the comments, what do you think is the best way to combat crime in the United States? Certainly, you could perhaps change some laws federally to combat the ones in California where they allow theft to be rampant with that last, I forgot the prop number, but they voted on the proposition for them to basically decriminalize, if a theft is under $950. Perhaps you'd have a statewide or a countrywide law if it's over a certain dollar amount, you'd be prosecuted. I mean, it'll be interesting to see, but you're going to need to work with, as cliche as it sounds, you have to work with the community. You have to reinforce the concept that two-parent households are one of the most important things in society and one of the greatest mechanisms for helping someone have the best odds of success in life. Can't help but notice a lot of these issues when you have crime, you have some of these most morally deplorable people with all the disgusting, everything, most morally vacuous things I could think of when you think about everything from theft to murder. I can't help but notice a lot of them are coming from broken families. Because from a culturally and politically speaking, it's actually encouraged that. There are actually more incentives for single-parent homes than dual-parent homes in the United States in many cases. That is something I think a president could change in terms of the welfare and the mechanisms for that, where you're currently actually reinforcing that you're paying single moms and you're encouraging the act because there's a fiscal incentive behind it. So there are, the more I think about it, there are a couple things you can do politically, but I think you're going to have a cultural as well as a political amalgamation come together to truly fix some of these cities, because they've been in trouble for a long time. So it'll be interesting to see if they're actually able to fix them. I don't know, but after you look at Chicago, after 100 years, I can't help but think the Magic 8 Ball, unfortunately, would say outlook is not so good. But hopefully, it will get better, hopefully. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in again. Again, we're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of September. Actually, 4,000 if we really swing it. So I really appreciate you clicking that button. Also, taking the time to like and comment helps me out. Appreciate the feedback and insight you have with these topics. Love to hear about your experiences. Also, and lastly, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.